每天听半小时英文听懂美国人，第58集。
Would you mind clarifying that point? Would you mind clarifying that point?
你介意把那点说清楚吗？
Would you mind clarifying that point? I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from.
我理解你的观点。
I see where you're coming from. That's an interesting perspective. That's an interesting perspective.
这是个有趣的观点。
That's an interesting perspective. Could we explore that further? Could we explore that further?
我们能进一步探讨吗？
Could we explore that further? I hadn't considered that angle. I hadn't considered that angle.
我没考虑过那个角度。
I hadn't considered that angle. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this?
你对这个有什么想法？
What are your thoughts on this? Let me get this straight. Let me get this straight.
让我理清楚。
Let me get this straight. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
这完全说得通。
That makes perfect sense. I'm not quite following you. I'm not quite following you.
我不太明白你的意思。
I'm not quite following you. Could you elaborate on that? Could you elaborate on that?
你能详细说明一下吗？
Could you elaborate on that? I'm on the same page with you. I'm on the same page with you.
我和你想法一致。
I'm on the same page with you. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking.
这正是我在想的。
That's exactly what I was thinking. Let's break this down step by step. Let's break this down step by step.
让我们一步步分析。
Let's break this down step by step. I see room for improvement here. I see room for improvement here.
我看到这里有改进空间。
I see room for improvement here. What's your take on this matter? What's your take on this matter?
你对这件事怎么看？
What's your take on this matter? I completely understand your concern. I completely understand your concern.
我完全理解你的担忧。
I completely understand your concern. Let's look at the bigger picture. Let's look at the bigger picture.
让我们看看大局。
Let's look at the bigger picture. I appreciate your perspective. I appreciate your perspective.
我欣赏你的观点。
I appreciate your perspective. Could we circle back to that later? Could we circle back to that later?
我们待会儿能回到那个话题吗？
Could we circle back to that later? That's definitely worth considering. That's definitely worth considering.
这确实值得考虑。
That's definitely worth considering. I'm curious about your approach. I'm curious about your approach.
我对你的方法很感兴趣。
I'm curious about your approach. Let's weigh our options carefully. Let's weigh our options carefully.
让我们仔细权衡选择。
Let's weigh our options carefully. I see where this is heading. I see where this is heading.
我明白这要往哪个方向发展。
I see where this is heading. That brings up an interesting point. That brings up an interesting point.
这提出了一个有趣的观点。
That brings up an interesting point. I'd like to build on that idea. I'd like to build on that idea.
我想在这个想法上继续发展。
I'd like to build on that idea. Let's get to the heart of the matter. Let's get to the heart of the matter.
让我们谈谈问题的核心。
Let's get to the heart of the matter. I think we're making progress here. I think we're making progress here.
我觉得我们在这里有进展。
I think we're making progress here. Could you share your experience? Could you share your experience?
你能分享你的经验吗？
Could you share your experience? That's a valid observation. That's a valid observation.
这是个有效的观察。
That's a valid observation. I'd like to offer a suggestion. I'd like to offer a suggestion.
我想提个建议。
I'd like to offer a suggestion. Let's prioritize our tasks. Let's prioritize our tasks.
让我们确定任务优先级。
Let's prioritize our tasks. I can see both sides of the argument. I can see both sides of the argument.
我能理解争论的双方。
I can see both sides of the argument. That's a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment.
这是个公平的评估。
That's a fair assessment. Let's focus on finding solutions. Let's focus on finding solutions.
让我们专注于找解决方案。
Let's focus on finding solutions. I value your input on this. I value your input on this.
我重视你在这方面的意见。
I value your input on this. That's an excellent starting point. That's an excellent starting point.
这是个很好的起点。
That's an excellent starting point. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's keep the momentum going.
让我们保持这个势头。
Let's keep the momentum going. I think we're on the right track. I think we're on the right track.
我觉得我们方向对。
I think we're on the right track. Could we revisit that point? Could we revisit that point?
我们能重新讨论那一点吗？
Could we revisit that point? That's a creative approach. That's a creative approach.
这是个有创意的方法。
That's a creative approach. Let's set clear expectations. Let's set clear expectations.
让我们设定明确的期望。
Let's set clear expectations. I appreciate your thoroughness. I appreciate your thoroughness.
我欣赏你的细致。
I appreciate your thoroughness. That's worth investigating further. That's worth investigating further.
这值得进一步调查。
That's worth investigating further. Let's establish some guidelines. Let's establish some guidelines.
让我们制定一些指导方针。
Let's establish some guidelines. I see potential challenges here. I see potential challenges here.
我看到这里有潜在的挑战。
I see potential challenges here. That's a reasonable request. That's a reasonable request.
这是个合理的要求。
That's a reasonable request. Let's streamline this process. Let's streamline this process.
让我们简化这个流程。
Let's streamline this process. I'd like to hear your feedback. I'd like to hear your feedback.
我想听听你的反馈。
I'd like to hear your feedback. That deserves our attention. That deserves our attention.
这值得我们关注。
That deserves our attention. Let's maintain open communication. Let's maintain open communication.
让我们保持开放的沟通。
Let's maintain open communication. I appreciate your flexibility. I appreciate your flexibility.
我感谢你的灵活性。
I appreciate your flexibility. That's a constructive suggestion. That's a constructive suggestion.
这是个建设性的建议。
That's a constructive suggestion. Let's explore alternative options. Let's explore alternative options.
让我们探索其他选择。
Let's explore alternative options. I understand your perspective. I understand your perspective.
我理解你的观点。
I understand your perspective. That's a practical solution. That's a practical solution.
这是个实用的解决方案。
That's a practical solution. Let's address this proactively. Let's address this proactively.
让我们积极主动地解决这个。
Let's address this proactively. I value your expertise. I value your expertise.
我重视你的专业知识。
I value your expertise. That's worth considering. That's worth considering.
这值得考虑。
That's worth considering. Let's clarify our objectives. Let's clarify our objectives.
让我们明确我们的目标。
Let's clarify our objectives. I see your point clearly. I see your point clearly.
我清楚地明白你的观点。
I see your point clearly. That requires careful planning. That requires careful planning.
这需要仔细规划。
That requires careful planning. Let's optimize our resources. Let's optimize our resources.
让我们优化我们的资源。
Let's optimize our resources. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your patience.
我感谢你的耐心。
I appreciate your patience. That's an efficient approach. That's an efficient approach.
这是个有效的方法。
That's an efficient approach. Let's coordinate our efforts. Let's coordinate our efforts.
让我们协调我们的努力。
Let's coordinate our efforts. I respect your decision. I respect your decision.
我尊重你的决定。
I respect your decision. That's a balanced perspective. That's a balanced perspective.
这是个平衡的观点。
That's a balanced perspective. Let's ensure quality control. Let's ensure quality control.
让我们确保质量控制。
Let's ensure quality control. I support your initiative. I support your initiative.
我支持你的主动性。
I support your initiative. That's a strategic move. That's a strategic move.
这是个战略性的举措。
That's a strategic move. Let's document this properly. Let's document this properly.
让我们妥善记录这个。
Let's document this properly. I welcome your suggestions. I welcome your suggestions.
我欢迎你的建议。
I welcome your suggestions. That's a logical conclusion. That's a logical conclusion.
这是个合逻辑的结论。
That's a logical conclusion. Let's improve efficiency here. Let's improve efficiency here.
让我们提高这里的效率。
Let's improve efficiency here. I acknowledge your contribution. I acknowledge your contribution.
我承认你的贡献。
I acknowledge your contribution. That's a thorough analysis. That's a thorough analysis.
这是个透彻的分析。
That's a thorough analysis. Let's monitor progress closely. Let's monitor progress closely.
让我们密切监控进展。
Let's monitor progress closely. I endorse your proposal. I endorse your proposal.
我赞同你的提议。
I endorse your proposal. That's an achievable goal. That's an achievable goal.
这是个可实现的目标。
That's an achievable goal. Let's evaluate results regularly. Let's evaluate results regularly.
让我们定期评估结果。
Let's evaluate results regularly. I recognize your effort. I recognize your effort.
我认可你的努力。
I recognize your effort. That's a sustainable approach. That's a sustainable approach.
这是个可持续的方法。
That's a sustainable approach. Let's maintain high standards. Let's maintain high standards.
让我们保持高标准。
Let's maintain high standards. I trust your judgment. I trust your judgment.
我相信你的判断。
I trust your judgment. That's a viable option. That's a viable option.
这是个可行的选择。
That's a viable option. Let's enhance productivity here. Let's enhance productivity here.
让我们提高这里的生产力。
Let's enhance productivity here. I commend your dedication. I commend your dedication.
我称赞你的奉献。
I commend your dedication. That's an innovative solution. That's an innovative solution.
这是个创新的解决方案。
That's an innovative solution. Let's maximize our potential. Let's maximize our potential.
让我们发挥最大潜力。
Let's maximize our potential. I appreciate your diligence. I appreciate your diligence.
我感谢你的勤奋。
I appreciate your diligence. That's a measured response. That's a measured response.
这是个深思熟虑的回应。
That's a measured response. Let's foster collaboration here. Let's foster collaboration here.
让我们在这里促进合作。
Let's foster collaboration here. I value your commitment. I value your commitment.
我重视你的承诺。
I value your commitment. That's a well-structured plan. That's a well-structured plan.
这是个结构良好的计划。
That's a well-structured plan. Let's implement best practices. Let's implement best practices.
让我们实施最佳实践。
Let's implement best practices. I respect your viewpoint. I respect your viewpoint.
我尊重你的观点。
I respect your viewpoint. That's a systematic approach. That's a systematic approach.
这是个系统的方法。
That's a systematic approach. Let's strengthen our partnership. Let's strengthen our partnership.
让我们加强我们的合作关系。
Let's strengthen our partnership. I acknowledge your expertise. I acknowledge your expertise.
我承认你的专业知识。
I acknowledge your expertise. That's a comprehensive overview. That's a comprehensive overview.
这是个全面的概述。
That's a comprehensive overview.
喜欢这种学习方式，请关注我们。
See you next time.